listening to CCARadio, live in English to live in English, brought to you by Centro Colombo Americano.
And we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, we know pretty much that schools are not going to be going back minimally until the 30th of May, I think, here in Colombia. I think it's going to be a lot longer than that. And it's pretty much that way around the world. So another good is that everybody here is doing okay and we're taking care of each other. And that's the important part. But we've got more goods.
We got a lot of good other things.
Who's got the good other thing today?
I have the first good. And it is the kind of good that I really like and enjoy talking about. This is the story of a woman. She's called Edna Mata Camacho. She's a biochemist and she happens to work, or she's part of Canada's Carleton University. So this woman is a remarkable woman to my mind. What I saw in this article was pretty impressive. So what she does is, like, she got together with her brother-in-law and sister-in-law and she's starting doing a project. So what is this project about? She tries to foster having people or students from Colombia to foster and start like making them get interested or have an interest in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, in order to have them go to the United States or go to different places to start like connecting like these people from Colombia who have or maybe don't have the possibilities to go there and explore these majors and careers options. And she's trying to connect people from these places, from specific places to go there. So how does this work? Rene and Alex, that's the name of the brother and sister-in-law, they work as teachers in Rovira. It's in a specific place in Tolima. And Rovira has a lot of problems due to the armed conflict. So there was an impact on socioeconomic development, health services, education, amongst others. So they saw that there was a lack of connection between the community and education itself. So they started to do different things that I think that are interesting because they start to connect people through technology and start to connect people through different platforms in order for them to get connected with different career options. So we have activities like this to motivate girls, and this is what I like the most, that it focuses a lot on girls. Only 6% of US scientists are Latinas. Latinas, of course, women, So they try to motivate these girls. They teach leadership and they connect them to their curiosity in these fields. So it is nice to give people different kinds of perspective on what they want to do and what they can do in life. So sometimes in places in which people don't have like very common, how could you say it? Like access to education or quality education, people don't tend to have like a broader spectrum of what they can do in life. And these people are trying to provide different possibilities for them to connect with that. So they are doing that, like conferences and activities to make people feel interested on those topics, most of it girls. And they're also doing something apart from that, which I found interesting, talking about coronavirus. They create YouTube videos that describe or demonstrate basic science to teach children how to deal with the situation of coronavirus, like how to deal with this hygiene aspect that they have to take into account. So they promote different kinds of science in a simple way. They approach different kinds of communities, sometimes communities that have problems, and they try to approach these people to have them or to give them a different possibility in life. So it's really nice to see this effort focused on Latinas, on women, and trying to foster this and make a connection between countries. And of course, we've been part of Colombo. We know the importance between having this connection between different countries, cultures, and providing opportunities. So this is a news or a piece of news that I really enjoyed reading. You mentioned several times before, I'm not very optimistic in my regards. These are simple little things. So these are simple little things that made me feel very happy about how people are working in that. Sometimes the government or governments in general don't do enough, but there are individuals that are changing other people's lives. And that's something truly valuable for me.
Something that I saw some data in that article. The U.S., the Latina population in the U.S. is 17%, but of that 17%, only 6% graduate with STEM careers, which is crazy. And also, if you look at the fact that in the US, 40% of PhDs working in the US are born overseas, which is like, wow. So hopefully some of those future PhDs will come from here in Colombia.
From Colombia.
And from Tolima. That would be very cool.
Yeah. There are also efforts being made in Africa. I saw in the article also they mentioned places like Zimbabwe, Nigeria. They're trying to do different things. It's not only in Colombia. It's nice that it becomes more visible and it becomes a matter of discussion.
It's also cool that it's Colombians helping Colombians.
Yeah,
there you go.
Which is like really, really cool. So that's really, really good. Pedro, you've got something really, really bad though.
I have, for our regular listeners, we always discuss things and we go, oh, yesterday in the production meeting. Well, yesterday in the production meeting.
We did have a production meeting, yay!
We did, yes. No, we did a production meeting and we were like, we don't want to get everybody bummed out. We don't want to go over and over on coronavirus and COVID-19 and it's terrible and there's this many cases and this many deaths. We're going to talk a little bit about COVID-19. This is the bad news, but just one little thing, and then we'll continue to get cool stories for you and change a little bit of the topic so that it's not only that. The bad story this week has to do with, let's get her name, Maji Benassi, who's a U.S. Army reservist, mother of two, who has been completely falsely, accused of pretty much starting the spread of COVID-19 in the U.S.
How crazy is that? Like the entire world is shut down. Everyone hates COVID and you're being accused of starting it?
It's amazing. It's amazing that this story exists, that there is, that people continue to listen to a couple of I'm going to talk about that, very weird guys who have YouTube followers, and they just continue to do strange videos.
But here's the question: did it start with this crazy guy? It originally started with like the Chinese who were like accusing because there was that World Military Games.
Yes.
But then this American crazy guy, who Pedro's going to tell you about, picked this up.
Yes, absolutely. His name is
George Webb.
George Webb.
Look him up, guys. He's a crazy man.
Oh my God! Yes.
Did you look him up?
Yes, I did. George Webb has a following in YouTube. He does this crazy videos. All right,
He's like if Alec Jones and Rush Limbaugh had a baby and it was stupid. That's George Webb.
Things in context. Okay, in the U.S., Americans love conspiracy theories.
They do.
There's this whole idea about conspiracy theories, and there's topics and web pages and books have been written about this, and shows and everything from the assassination of JFK to UFOs. We'll talk about UFOs in a second. UFOs and
that's not a theory.
Area 51. How the government has done secret, all sorts of things, testing and things. During the Vietnam War, they used this product and this chemical on their own thing. Conspiracy theories are as American as apple pie. This kind of guy has a following because it's all about there has to be somebody to blame.
He's got 100,000 followers on his YouTube channel.
Yes, and it's all
People
about.
People need to get jobs.
It's all about who do we blame, and this army reservist, this mother of two, went to China. She was in Wuhan because of her job. She's in the army, and there were.
Well, and she's a cyclist.
Yes,
she was participating as a cyclist.
She was part of this. And of all the men and women in uniform from the U.S. Army that went there, she got singled out. It was her, and now she had.
Do we have any idea why, Pedro? Because she's never even tested positive. She's never had a symptom. Like it's like so crazy.
I think it was. Nightmare. I think it was because on her last, she had an accident. I mean, she crashed in her, but she's a cyclist. She had a broken rib, so she went to a Wuhan hospital. So again, there is no base behind this. So she had to cancel out her social media. Unfortunately, and this, I do believe
it's so sad.
This part is horrible. People posting her address, her house address.
George Webb did that. He's the one who said where she lived.
You're not supposed to do that. No matter what, you do not do that. You have a little bit of respect for people's lives, privacy, and everything. You do not post it. You don't know how people are going to react. You don't understand how people are going to react if you're, again, if you have 100,000 followers, you have a certain amount of responsibility towards your listeners, viewers, fans, whatever.
But there's free speech in the United States, Pedro.
Okay. So this is very, very, very sad story. I hope it ends well for her. I hope this guy, George Webb, I'm not going to finish that sentence. And let's go to the funky, because we have a bunch of funky.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, that the story of Mrs. Benassi and her husband, who he's a retired Air Force officer.
Yeah.
And these are people who have served the United States, and they're being like, I mean, wow, and it's so random. Anyway, so let's go to funky, which is also kind of random, although it's not. This goes in the category of reply to all. I mean, we've all had the circumstance where we've gotten an email with a bunch of people on the email, and we've responded to the original person, maybe with something semi-inappropriate, and oops, we hit reply to all. Okay, well, and now
I have a thing with reply to all.
Uh-huh.
It used to say reply to all. Now it's just arrows, curling arrows, and you don't know which one it is.
Which is more dangerous.
That's my point. It's just arrows, and it's a semicircle. Is that supposed to? Am I replying?
I think we've all had this problem. Forwarding
or replying? Yes. It's not easy.
So much so that on Zoom, when I'm in a group Zoom, I used to you can do a Zoom chat, and you can either reply to talk to everybody or just to a person.
Yes.
That makes me nervous. So I just WhatsApp the person if I have something to say. Anyway, so this is the 2020 COVID reply to all, and there are a couple stories on this one, but the first one is a reporter from ABC News in the US called Will Reeve. Will Reeve was reported in Good Morning America, which is extremely widely seen in the US. It's like here in Colombia, it's talk radio in the morning. Like everyone, there are like 5 major talk radio stations, and everyone listens to one of them, or like me, I switch between them when I get irritated. Same thing in the US. There's CBS This Morning, Good Morning America, there's the Today Show. And they sort of take turns being important in the ratings. I think Good Morning America is on top right now. Anyway, so this guy Will Reeve was reporting from his home, as everyone's doing, a segment on drone delivery of medicines during the COVID-19 crisis. Okay, so far so good. So he's wearing his suit jacket or his blazer, and he's wearing a button-down shirt, no tie. That's cool. It's, he's at home. Everything's fine until he moves the camera angle out, and you can see that he was wearing a jacket, a nice shirt, but no pants.
No pants.
He apparently didn't realize that his no pants were showing, or his legs or whatever were showing, until people started tweeting about it. Like, put your pants on. So this guy really had like a good sense of humor about it, and he tweeted back, "I have arrived," in those hilariously mortifying ways. So now, I once said, here in Colombia, something happened, and a couple of things happened, and I've actually been the subject of tweets. You're like, you're somebody when somebody tweets about you. So Will arrived because he about his pantsless legs. But there was another one that got bigger. This woman even got her own hashtag. That's the hashtag Poor Jennifer, and then the other hashtag Stand With Jennifer. So this is actually a person Bill's. So Jennifer, we don't know her last name, was in a meeting on Zoom. She had her camera on and her microphone on, and Jennifer, like me, probably had too much coffee and had to go to the restroom. So Jennifer didn't turn off her camera or her microphone and walked down the hall with her laptop, put the laptop on the floor of the bathroom, and proceeded to wash her hands and sit down until finally one of her colleagues was like, and she turned the camera around. Poor Jennifer. But that was Jennifer because she gave everybody a laugh. And I've had a few of these. Pedro was one of them. we were in a meeting there are 13 people in our executive team. We were in a meeting in my internet in this house. There are 3 kids doing studying from home, my husband trying to run business from home, and me. And so I was sitting there, and my internet was intermittent. And I had turned off the camera, but I didn't realize I hadn't turned off the microphone. And I said in Spanish, most of it was in Spanish except for one word, "What's going on with the bleeping internet?"
Yes.
As soon as it came out of my mouth, and I heard people go, We also
stories are very relatable because it has happened to all of us, and we've been embarrassed. And actually, I just remember that I've seen people sharing their screen, and sometimes really don't know if it's polite to tell them like, "Hey, I'm seeing everything you're doing. I'm reading your WhatsApp conversation."
Uh-huh.
I mean, it is a situation. Everybody, I still get nervous. I'm doing book clubs. I'm talking. Everybody's talking, and then someone just opens the chat and wants to ask a specific question about. We're in the middle of this. And I get nervous. Technology still, yes. Later. If you're writing on the chat, later. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you, Andres, do you have a quick technology oops for us?
It hasn't happened to me because I'm extremely careful. I've been so paranoid. I have so many videos, so I prefer not to, I check my email, then I close my email, I check if there's something around me, I control the audio, I control video, I'm always on top of that. So apart from teaching my class, I need to be careful of control. Although it was terrible. It happened to me something. Now I remember. I was like touching my face. I was touching my face in the class. A student took a screenshot and shared a screenshot and sent it to WhatsApp. This student forgot that I was in the WhatsApp of the course. It looked like I was pinching my nose. It looked like that. It wasn't true, but the perspective made it look like that. So that was the
best part of the story is that he started with, "I didn't have a moment," and then he just
remembered
this.
Well, it wasn't his moment. It was one of his students. We have another one. One of our colleagues in the executive team. His wife is really loud. So, and he always forgets to turn off his microphone. So sometimes someone else will be talking, but our colleague's wife is so loud that we can't hear the person we're supposed to be hearing. So it's become kind of a joke between that person and me, where's your wife? Make sure your wife is out of your shot because
Yes, no, for kids, I mean, for Antonia, my daughter, she's doing video conference, and there's always this one parent, they never mute the mic off. And on the chat, on the WhatsApp chat, there's always joke that we know exactly what kind of business deals he's doing. He's so loud, he's trying to close the deal, and he's shouting over, everybody's listening, and he doesn't mind. He's just having whole conversations. And
the best part is he's probably unemployed. He just wants to show off.
Probably.
Yes, I know him, and yeah.
Didn't you see that it was 2 years ago or 3? It was a British thing, and there was this guy. I think he was a diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It was super popular. It was
that video was very popular. Yes.
He said there was actually a follow-up on that, Andres.
Yes.
I think his wife did it, a follow-up because that's the classic. That started all.
Because he actually pushed his kid. He pushed it away from him.
The little girl was taken out of there.
Nanny.
No, it was his wife. It wasn't the nanny. It was his wife.
Crawled.
It was his wife. She crawled in a grab, and then the baby was in a walker.
Yes.
All right, go collecting the stories, and if any people who eventually are listening to us have good stories of oopses, they keep it clean now, send it to us, and we'll see what we can do about that.
Absolutely.
We've got some more funky stuff though. We've got 2 more funkies that are awesome. Let's get the next one.
Which is about £30 piece of moon up for sale.
The moon.
£30 piece of moon, exactly. Now, I'm gonna tell you a little about the piece of the moon. It was found 6 years ago in the Sahara Desert, and apparently it fell to Earth in a meteor shower. Wow. Now, its asking price is in the neighborhood of $2.5 million. Now, this is not a regular auction. It is a private sale. It's going to be a private sale. It's going to be held in one of the most famous auction houses on Earth, which is based in London. Now, when we say that it is a private sale, it means that anyone that has money can buy it
2.5 million.
immediately.
But what do you mean? You got 2.5 million just sitting around to have a rock?
It's own rock.
I know. Well,
it's a rock.
Think about
The
it.
equivalent of a sculpture. You just put it in the lobby of Big Bill, because if he can pay 2.5 million for rock, he'll probably use a whole building. So.
There's other things I do 2.5 million.
Oh.
And you don't get to see this kind of rock all the time. And that's the interesting about moon, because it weighs under 30 pounds, but it is the 5th largest piece of moon ever. Now, not the pollution, right? Nothing brought by back when the pollution was as large as this piece of moon. So it's really an incredible opportunity to acquire a world-class specimen from the moon. And it is larger than any other lunar meteorite ever sold. And all the previous examples that they have in this auction house would have been able to fit in your hand, but this one is, over 10 times larger than a regular piece of moon. So that's the reason why it's so interesting. People are, selling, talking about this everywhere. So if you're interested in getting a piece of the
We
moon,
have to do a follow-up on this. We have
We have
to
to
find
see-
out the final bid price.
If we tell you,
If they start at 2.5 million, there's going to be a couple of rich people that start bidding for it. So we have to do it.
I don't know, I can think of other things at 2.5 million. It is pretty interesting and very fun.
Starting the bid at 2.5. Wow.
But speaking of outer space, we got another space
Another one. Andres
related.
has one for
I
us.
have another one, yeah. To what extent do you believe in UFOs, guys?
I believe that there is life elsewhere. The universe is really big. It seems kind of crazy we're the only ones here.
Yes. I agree with that. I do not believe in little green men or all those kind of sci-fi kind of.
Mhm.
Not even the Martian from Bugs Bunny. He's kind of cool.
Oh, yes. Marty the Martian.
Marty the Martian.
No, little green men. No. You're
What
gonna
about
put UFOs.
Wookiees? Hey, yesterday was May the 4th,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
So tell us about the UFOs. What have you done UFOs, Andres?
Okay, so I have a soft spot for this topic. When I was a child, I loved checking about this kind of stuff. I was a total believer. Now I don't believe much, but this is pretty interesting because, well, what happened is that the Pentagon released some videos that show some UFOs, identified flying objects, and they presented as unexplained or like spiral phenomena, something that is not clear. They don't know what it is. The interesting thing is that these videos were part of the internet way before. It was like started in 2007, and they were part of the internet. But the interesting part is that now the Pentagon is releasing them, sort of saying like, this is not a scam, this is something real because we analyzed them. We have this information, we don't know what it is, but it is for fact that this is something happened. We know what it is, we have no explanation for it, but now they're circulating and it is kind of official, yeah? So I don't know if you had the opportunity of checking the videos. I checked the videos and they're interesting.
Your opinion?
Do you actually see anything? Like, do you actually, like, you can hear the pilot saying it, but like,
Yeah, it's crazy because in the first video, the pilots are sort of freaked out. And the second video, they are super happy. They sound kind of happy, like he's trying to target the specific flying object. He targets it and he's like, wow, I got it, what's that? He starts to become so eager about it. So I don't know, the first one looked like pretty, like sort of typical UFO.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe when they look so stereotypical.
But at one point, there's one from like 2004 where the pilot says that it accelerated like nothing he's ever seen before.
Yeah.
So that's not like your average drone.
It's not the average drone, of course, but I've seen many videos or plenty of videos in which there are like additions and the objects are moving very slowly and then they change directions or change their course pretty fast. So I don't know. It's crazy because it's the first time that I see like an official entity.
This is totally X-Files, you guys.
It's
Completely.
material for X-Files. So
We need Scully and what's his name?
Mulder.
Mulder and Scully.
yeah.
All right, we're gonna yelled at by our producer. That we have to move on. So let's move on. Again, we're not talking about COVID.
Yeah.
But we are talking about the presidential election. Did you hear there's an election this year? Like most of us have forgotten.
Yes.
There is an election this year in the United States, a presidential election, and a lot has happened since last we spoke.
Yes.
We've gone down from the real field, Pedro, of Democratic candidates was like a bazillion.
It was a
We're down
bazillion.
to the
Because-
one presumptive candidate. In this time, Bernie Sanders dropped out, everybody else dropped out, and everybody has, in the Democratic side anyway, including former President Barack Obama, everyone has endorsed Joe Biden
Joe Biden.
in his candidacy. That being said, the primary system is still continuing.
Yes.
We just had last week the primary in Kansas, which was entirely mail-in. You guys remember, maybe you don't, because that happened when we've been in lockdown. Wisconsin, there was a big fight about how they would run the primary election.
They made people.
They made people actually go to the polls, and
was holding a poster, right, saying this is ridiculous. She was,
Yes, there were a lot of people complaining that they had to make
yeah.
in line and everything. And this was
and it, so how do you socially distance? How do you get prepared for that? Kansas did theirs entirely mail-in. Obviously, President Trump won, Republican Party. Joe Biden won. Even though Bernie Sanders has not taken his name off the ballots. Pedro, what's Bernie Sanders doing? Why does he have the ballot? Because already out.
There's a couple of states that it's a matter for him. New York, he's been fighting about the New York ballot for a while. About his name being staying here. Yes, he has.
Well, because he wants some of his policies to be part of the Democratic platform. So Joe Biden will have to
Bernie Sanders is not going to
promise.
disappear into the bushes and walk away. He has been very adamant. He's very vocal and very about the issues that he believes in. He has conceded to Joe
And endorsed
Biden,
him.
but they do have different lines of thoughts that the policies that he believes in, he's not seeing them represented by the candidates that are going to be on the final ballot. So he's I think he is a very important figure
Mhm.
to continue to be in politics, to be as outspoken and vocal again. So vocal about a lot of things. I think it is very important about Bernie Sanders, the way he has influenced young voters in the
Mhm.
US. His following, even though he's older man, his following of millennials and kids that are for the first time going to vote, for the first time getting their bearings on how the political process works is very important. He's a big and important influence on how politics should work.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and it could be a little dangerous. Bernie supporters, hardcore Bernie supporters, I
Yes.
think are as, for lack of a better word, fanatical as
Yes.
hardcore Trump supporters.
Yes, they
So
are.
there is some concern that Bernie supporters will not vote because they will not vote for a Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, yes.
And Bernie Sanders has been trying really hard to make sure that those folks go out and vote because of the Democratic Party's conviction that it's sort of like in anybody but Trump scenario.
Yes.
And going back to Joe Biden, there are two big stories around Joe Biden right now, other than the fact that he's the presumptive candidate. One being that this week he launched his committee to find a vice president,
Yes.
which is super important. Biden has already laid a few conditions. One, that it be a woman.
Mhm.
Two, that it be someone younger than him, which isn't too hard because, he is 77. And think about it, 77, if he's elected, he'll be 78 by the time he takes office.
And 82,
So
but,
82 by the time either he is
He's
reelected or someone else.
That's the whole idea.
He's not
That's
a
the whole
two-term
idea.
candidate. So
That's the whole idea and the importance of the VP. The
well,
importance
that's
of the
why
VP.
his third condition is that it be someone who could immediately be president.
That's the
He's
whole
getting
point.
a lot of pressure to choose not just a woman, but a woman of color, which is difficult. You could look at somebody like a Kamala Harris, who was a presidential candidate. She was the state attorney general of California. She is a woman of color and she's a senator, so she has Washington experience. Another woman of color that they're looking at is Stacey Abrams, who is definitely younger. How old is Stacey Abrams? Like 40,
Yeah.
if that. But Stacey Abrams she ran for governor of Georgia, lost narrowly, is extremely charismatic, but doesn't have the experience. They're looking also at other candidates, the governor of Michigan, who's been on the news quite a lot
Yes.
for being a pretty tough cookie and for being attacked by President Trump. So that's definitely a stay tuned. But there's another big story going on right now with Joe Biden, which started to come out last year. Last year, women talked about being inappropriately touched by Joe Biden, not in a sexual way, but sort of like this fatherly, he's like, everybody's dad kind of thing. Until a woman named Tara Reid, who was a young staffer in his congressional office 27 years ago, 1993, who claims that Joe Biden touched her inappropriately in a very sexual manner.
Yes.
There's a lot of talk about this right now. The Biden campaign has unequivocally denied the allegations. A lot of people from his office at the time have said, no way, this didn't happen. Ms. Reid, Joe Biden has said, however, all women should be listened to and all things should be investigated. Ms. Reid says that she filed a complaint about harassment, not specifically about sexual harassment, but filed a complaint with harassment, but doesn't remember the office that she sent it to and doesn't have a copy of the complaint. She also doesn't remember the exact date that it happened, or even the month that it happened, or exactly where it happened. Now, does that mean she's lying? Not necessarily. How will this affect the campaign? Trump, interestingly enough, has come out to say he needs to defend himself, but of course, hot kettle. So these are, and whomever the presumptive vice presidential candidate eventually is, if it's going to be a woman, will obviously have to answer questions about this. So this is totally a stay tuned, but there's one more really crazy thing that's happening. Justin Amash, who is a congressman from Michigan, is talking about throwing his hat into the race as a third-party candidate. Amash was a Republican.
Interesting. Very interesting. I've been listening to him. He speaks well. He speaks well.
He speaks well, but the concern, obviously, for a lot of people is that when you have a third-party candidate, especially a third-party candidate who aims to appeal to disaffected Republican voters, you wonder if he's going to take votes away from Trump, take votes away from Biden, or like not even be a blip on the radar.
That's the story. If he is serious, if he gets a little bit of traction, who is he going to take votes out of?
Or will he take any votes at all? Like, is he really like? I don't know.
No, it's a good story. It's a good late story for this political year of Republicans not having anybody to confront President Trump. He is a former Republican running as a libertarian.
He left the party. He's had a lot of arguments with Trump.
He was a Republican, all for impeachment.
He was a Tea Party Republican.
Yes, so he's really shifted.
Is there a deadline for politicians to announce their plans to jump into the presidential race? Like when is it that you have?
It has to be before the conventions are over, and the conventions are going to happen in August because basically they have to get on the ballot. But the question with Justin Amash is, who's he going to hurt? Who's he going to help? Is he going to even be any kind of relevant?
Is he right now? Is if he's serious, will he get enough money? With political campaigns, it's fundraising.
And fundraising face to face.
And fundraising, is he going to be able to do it? I don't think so.
I don't think he's even going to be a blip.
Yes, and again, with 2020 election, we're going to talk in future shows about this. One of the things we have to really talk about is how do you do a political campaign through Zoom from your basement? That's the whole point of the Biden campaign, that he's from his basement doing everything. And on the other side, there's President Trump,
who's in Arizona today.
Sort of using COVID-19 and those press conferences as his political campaign. So
those are his rallies.
Those are his rallies. So that's one of the topics that we're going to talk about that in the future.
So stay tuned because this keeps being interesting. But now we have Dazed and Confused. And this one is so cool. Sol and Andres, what have you got for us today on Dazed and Confused?
Today, we're going to talk about homophones. I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard of that before, right?
Homophones, yes.
Words that sound the same.
They're pronounced.
They're pronounced the same, but mean something different.
Yes.
Exactly. And this is why it confuses a lot of people. But they can be quite fun sometimes. So we're going to show you a list of different words, homophones, and you guys are going to tell us what their definition is, and we're going to spell them out for you. All right?
Okay.
So Andres, you can start.
Yeah. Do you happen to have the images for Janet and Pedro, or it's just?
I think you have to describe them right now, and the production team will show them to the viewers on Facebook and the listeners on radio. They're just gonna listen to your description.
So describe them, and then we have to know how to spell them. How's that?
There you go.
Okay. Or we have this homophone.
Mm-hmm.
It's bear. Yeah. Of course, we have two meanings for the word bear, and they have different ways of being spelled. Yeah.
I think there's another meaning for bear. And it has to do with the guy with that ABC reporter.
There you go. He was bare.
As in he being bare naked ladies.
Bare naked.
Very good. So the most.
Oh no, it's backwards.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Okay.
But it's backwards, no?
No, it's not.
You guys aren't seeing it backwards?
No, we're seeing it.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing it backwards.
You're
That's
seeing
me
it
being
backwards.
That's me being technological.
There you go.
Pretty much. So the first one, or the most well-known. So what does it mean, guys? Bear, the one that
There
we
is
know.
the animal.
Smoky
The animal.
the.
The animal.
The
Yogi.
animal, yes. Now
Yogi
the
bear.
other one, which is not as popular as the first word, what would it be? Bear.
Carrying
Carrying something, yes.
or
Of course.
bearing a grudge
Carrying.
or
Exactly.
being a
Carry,
bare
to
naked
carry.
lady.
Carry, yes.
Pronunciation would be exactly the same. Of course, the spelling changes. So for the first one, for the animal, we have B-E-A-R. For the second one, we have B-A-R-E. So quite similar words, different meanings, and similar or exactly the same pronunciation.
Mhm.
Very good. And we have another pair of words, which is peace. So when I say peace, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Peace. How would
Pete,
you spell that? Peace.
what Jennifer was doing?
Yes. Jennifer in the restroom.
Peace.
P or peace?
Peace.
P.
What Jennifer was doing. Sorry.
No.
You left it there.
I'm gonna spell it out for you. So
Spell it.
P-E-A-C-E.
Peace. Okay.
Peace.
Freedom from
Peace.
war and violence. That is-
Yes.
and this is a noun, right?
It is a noun.
So, yes,
See?
very good.
Very good.
The other
You even
word
did the
is,
Jennifer one.
yes,
I did the Jennifer and the legume.
Yes.
and the other one would be I-E-C-E, which is
Like in a jigsaw puzzle
Piece like a piece of pie.
or a jigsaw puzzle,
Or
which
a
a lot of
jigsaw.
people are doing in lockdown.
Yes, a lot of jigsaw puzzles.
Yeah, a lot of my students have shown me this puzzle they've done during this quarantine. Anyway, we have another pair of words. Andres, you can continue.
Okay, the next one is whole.
Whole. With
Whole?
a with a W or without a W. Those are the two ways.
And those are the two ways,
Very
exactly.
good, yeah. So the one that starts with the H, what does it stand for?
It's
Uh,
the thing that if you have one and then the rest of it's not whole. It's like a piece that's missing
a piece.
or a well.
And that's the way it's represented in the images. Yeah, like
Okay.
you have a puzzle, take a piece, you have a hole into the
There you
complete puzzle. And when you have it complete, it'll be whole with W-H-O-L-E, whole.
And it'll be whole. There you
Complete
go.
You
version.
complete me.
Yeah.
Sorry, movie reference.
And then we have beat.
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 Oh wait,
How do you spell that out?
B-E-E-T or B-E-A-T.
Exactly. Very good. It's just as Pedro said, and just as Janet is showing us on camera, we have two possible.
Perfect penmanship.
Exactly. Two possible meanings. So the first one is B-E-A-T, which means to defend or to do better than somebody else. Because you can say, for example, that I beat it Andres at, I don't know, spelling out, for example.
Yes.
but also that could be beat as in beat
Exactly.
somebody up.
Exactly. To defend someone. So you beat him up.
Beat the bush.
Not necessarily defending. You beat somebody up without defending.
Yeah. Or if you're like a British person and you shoot quail or something, you have a person who goes in and beats the bushes to make the quail
Okay.
fly away.
Yes.
Then we have the other word
That's right.
that is
Beat
plant.
around the bushes. There you go.
Around the
See?
bush.
To beat
There
around-
you go.
And there's
I watch a
another,
lot of British TV.
which is the plant, right?
Yes.
It's the food. I taught when I taught 7th graders. There's a book called One Fat Summer,
Mhm.
and the mother gets this like goes to like the Costco at the time or the Price Mart or whatever, and she gets this really good deal on a case of canned beets. So she serves the family beets every night at dinner, and the kid talks about doing a Jennifer, and it comes out red because of beets, because beets are
Yes.
very red.
Yes. And they
Oh.
make your.
So there we have
They
it.
make your Jennifer thing.
No, you already wrote it. You can say P.
Great. And we're gonna talk about that later on. Let's continue.
Okay, so for the next one, we have one that could confuse maybe Spanish speakers. because I have never seen people associating these words having the same pronunciation. So the word would be exercise.
Mhm.
Exercise.
Exercise and exorcise.
Exactly.
Oh.
I have never seen people like comparing them having the same pronunciation. However, of course, they're wildly different words.
You have to, yes. If you listen to them very quickly, you'll have to. There you go. You'll have to really think. Did he say this or that? Yeah.
Exercise is what my kids are doing right now in their online PE class. And exorcise, think about like my head turning around 360 degrees. The exorcist.
Is it though a slight difference in the pronunciation?
Yes.
Yes.
I think there is. Exercise and exorcise. Yes. There's a slight difference in it. It's not really easy to hear, but there. Hi.
Look at her t-shirt.
Kiss me. I love it. And I love it. She's my kind of kid. But there is a slight difference in the pronunciation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I think when people speak fast.
Yes, there is a slight. Yeah.
But just so you know, exorcise is not only what like priests in movies do to like girls whose heads turn around. Exorcise can mean if you exorcise, you take something out, you get rid of something bad, not necessarily just an evil spirit.
Yeah, to remove the bad effects of a frightening or
There you go.
experience.
There you go. Yes.
And also, it's not something literal. Sometimes people say like you have to exercise your inner demons or
Yep.
an
There you
expression
go.
about your emotions. So
Yeah.
Not so literal always.
Yes.
Okay, so next word is break.
Easy.
Break. So yeah, I think this one is a piece of cake. So we have two different spellings for this. What are the possibilities? So we have very good B-R-E-A-K, which is what? To cause something separate suddenly? Probably.
Cause something to not be whole.
Yes.
W-H-O-L-E.
And then we have B-R-A-K-E. Right? Which is
And that is to stop, to
Exactly.
break.
very good. Now we have two different.
The pedal you step on to stop the car.
Or the act of stopping the car with said pedal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very good.
Those are really good.
I think,
Those are really
I
good.
think we
And
have time for one more,
yes,
and then I think our time is up. Oh no.
that's very different to do 1 hour.
I know. We got used to 2 hours. Give us
Yes.
one more.
Okay, the last
This
one.
is fun.
Yeah, which?
Which is which?
That exactly. You have plenty of tongue twisters using those two.
Yes.
Ta-da!
There you go. So
Yes.
we have the two of them. Slight differences in pronunciation or not? What do you say?
Totally the same. Which and which?
Same, right?
Same
Yep.
pronunciation. Which.
Yeah. Pretty good.
And that's the whole point of those tongue twisters. That the pronunciation is exactly the same.
Mhm.
Which is which? So one is the with the T. You know how I used to teach kids to remember the T is like a hat, like a witch's hat.
Okay.
Mhm.
Which and the other which is an indicator word.
A determiner, yeah.
Terminator,
Or,
yeah.
and it can also be a pronoun as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
The person, yeah. Anyway,
That was
That-
very cool.
That was really cool.
and we're going to continue doing this. We have a lot more. So that we can-
Yes. Next time we'll see the pictures.
No, and these are cool because it's. I mean, if you go on social media, you'll see an awful lot of people native speakers don't know the difference in spelling, which is really irritating. That's it for today. For today's show, we're down to an hour, so you guys don't get bored of us. I did my hair for the show today. Usually I've been like frizzy hair. It's been great to see you guys again. Great to be back on the air with CCARadio. Pedro, keep it up. Say hi to
Oh,
Antonia and her awesome
will.
t-shirt for me.
I will. To our
Andres
listeners,
Sol.
viewers, yes. Again, it's really good to be back. I just want to, I cut you off, sorry.
No, go
it's
for it.
It's really good to be back. The Colombo is doing a lot.
I
of
want to
different
suggest
things.
something.
Yes.
People need
Go.
to keep an eye on our social media because
Yes.
the Colombo's doing a lot of really cool things. Every afternoon we're doing a different webinar or a different live on all kinds of topics. from art history to pronunciation
We have
skills.
mindfulness. We have a lot of Toastmasters, a
There's
club
even
of
a makeup one. I saw a makeup one being promoted.
yes,
Yes,
makeup.
they're doing a makeup one. It's so cool.
We're doing music clubs. We're doing movie clubs. Not only movies, but Netflix. There's 2 different ones. One for classic movies, one for Netflix.
There's your book club.
There's a book club, a couple for every single level, one very advanced for upper skills and challenge, and one for basics. Again, like Janet just said, for our students, we are trying to do a lot of things on social media, so keep checking them, and you'll find a lot of ways for you that the Colombo is doing to practice your English, to practice all sorts of skills, from listening to talking to
writing your CV
writing.
in English.
There's
all
writing.
kinds
There's
of
a
cool
couple
stuff
of writing
going on.
ones. Yes.
Interviewing skills. Pay attention to our social media. Take advantage of what you can. And just know that the Colombo is not only moving on and keep going, but getting better every day. And thanks to our teachers, thanks to our staff, and thanks to our production team, Paula Layton, who has been working furiously to make this work for us, and Paula Arciniegas, who is our Director of Marketing Communications. Thanks, you guys. CCA Radio. Out of here.
Bye-bye.
Guys, that was great. See you again. Bye-bye.
You're listening to CCA Radio, live in English to live in English, brought to you by Centro Colombo Americano.